Hi, welcome everyone, Friar Tuck. This is my epoch. So I started talking. I thought I hit the record button, but apparently I didn't. But I'm going to be talking about an article that I am writing for the Street Vibes. Now, I originally started trying to write an article about the new economy. He's like, it's an interesting article. It's great. It's insightful. However, and it's kind of like when they lead with that but or that caveat. He liked my personal story more because I've been doing this off and on for 25 years. It's fascinating how I've survived and done a lot of this stuff that I've done. And, I don't know. I don't really think it's an interesting story, but that's because I lived it. I mean, yeah, I had some fun and interesting things happen, but, and I got to travel and see a lot of stuff. But the first time I went homeless, man, that was probably the hardest for me to deal with. I actually didn't deal with it too well at all. And the way that I went is the way that most people go, and the way that most people that I've talked to go, and the way that you most likely will go. I mean, it'll vary based upon your experience. If you got a good job but no savings, it may be longer before you end up there. If you whatever it may be, you may think that you are secure just because you got a good job, but anything can go away at any point in time. Losing my business in the way that I did, I mean, in a lot of ways it was a black swan event. And losing my business the way I did, I mean, I never expected. I thought I would never be homeless again. I never thought that I would be homeless again. After being in business for about 5 years, I was like, I'm good. After being in business for about a year, I gave away my 90-liter Coleman backpack, a backpack that I intended on keeping because I knew that I might end up homeless again. But I did so well in business, I was like, what the hell? But then you have a black swan event that happens. What can you do about it except for weather the storm? At least I've been here before, and I'm able to come out by choice instead of just letting the circumstances dictate it for me, which is what a lot of people do. It's because you're so attached to the normal things that you have, such as, your air conditioning, your heating, a refrigerator, being able to cook your meals, your privacy, the ability to know that you're safe, and, a lot of other things that come with the creature comforts of being housed and being inside. And those are nice. Don't get me wrong. Those are really nice. But at the same time, what are you willing to sacrifice, and how many relationships are you willing to burn to keep those amenities? Because what happens is you end up getting to a point where you can't pay rent, okay, or something along those lines. You can't pay a bill, and this is the bill that's going to put you outside. And so instead of going outside, you talk to your friends feel bad for you, then you go and you sleep on their couch. And you couch surf for, a few months to a year or two, depending upon how many friends you have and how good of friends they are and how good of a guest you are. Because a lot of people, they don't want the invasion of their privacy for a long period of time. And if you struggle to get back up on your feet, well, then your next step is once you've burnt all those bridges, is you're going to be looking for government services, see something that will pay your rent, see if you can get into free housing, see if you can get on some sort of list and stuff like that. And you're gonna try stuff like that, and it will happen. And then when there's nothing there for you, especially if you're a single adult, and especially if you're a single adult male even, it doesn't matter what color you are. It just matters that you are a male and that you are single and that you are above the age of majority. So, or actually above the age of 24. And at that point in time, the system just doesn't give a shit about you. And you come out here. And then now that you're out here, you're going to sink into depression. You're going to deal with the different mental anxieties that come from doing it because you're scared. You've never slept outside before. You don't know where to sleep and not get messed with. You're worried because of all the stories you hear that somebody's going to come up and harm you, which is not going to happen. And you get worried about all these different things, and therefore you end up not only sinking into depression but dealing with anxiety and paranoia. And so now your mental health issues are now expanding. And the thing is you were so attached to what it was that you had that you forgot that it was all temporary to begin with. And you need to be able to just move on, let go, and rebuild. Because that's really what the American dream has always been, is that when you fall apart, when everything goes away and you lose the farm, well, there's still an opportunity for you to get up on your feet. But we are so stuck in the materialistic world that we get so attached to those that we can't think about anything but that. And then what happens to us as individuals? You know what I mean? And what is it that we're willing to compromise? And so I did this. I went through this inevitable cycle of, constantly being in my parents' or at my mom's basement, or, sleeping on her couch, or sleeping on my grandma's couch, or, something like that, because I couldn't keep a job for longer than 3 to 6 months because of my accident that happened at the airport. And, because I couldn't get workman's comp to go through, because I didn't know what I was doing. I was 19 years old. I was youthfully ignorant. And if I would have known what to do, or if I would have had somebody there kind of showing me the ropes, I probably would be better taken care of now, because I could have fought the system and actually gotten some sort of compensation. So I could have been taken care of for the rest of my life instead of spending almost 25 years on and off the streets. Okay. And because of that created that one indecision that was not made, that I just said, screw it, I didn't want it anyways, and just kind of went off to go do it on my own, because I was headstrong and independent. And so I'll take care of myself. I don't need somebody to take care of me. And so I got to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm tired of sleeping on the couch. I'm tired of sleeping in the basement. I'm tired of dealing with all the dumb shit because I can't keep a job. I got a favor from a friend, went and stayed with him for a little bit until him and I got to odds, and it becomes the same old story until finally I just said, screw this. And I jumped in a car. I went to Dallas, and I slept in my car for about 2 weeks. And then from there, I ended up in a shelter. And that was my first time homeless. But, you're going to go through that same thing, and you're going to have all these fears and all these worries and stuff like that. And what I keep trying to tell people is that when you're part of the community, you don't have anything to worry about. It's when you're not part of the community that you have something to worry about. Because if you're sleeping out on a street corner, people pretty much expect that you have nothing. They're going to ask you for cigarettes. They're going to ask you for smokables, or for something pleasurable for themselves, just talking cryptically. Other than that, they expect you to be broke and not have anything. So they're not going to try and rob you. They might steal your gear, but that's because you're not paying attention. You're being an idiot. And if they see an opportunity, they're going to take it. Okay, but there's a lot of different things that go on. But anyways, this is what it's like when you go homeless for the first time. Now, there is hope. There is, it's not as bad as you think it is. You have to get over your desire for the house and the car and, the job and all that stuff. You need to rebuild and start looking at life realistically. Okay, now that you've been homeless once, you can be homeless again. Okay, once it happens to you once, it happens to you. If you're not off the streets within 6 months, you're not going to be off for 2 years. If you're on for 2 years, it may take 10 years to get off the streets. And by the time you've been there for 10 years, you're institutionalized, and you can't sleep inside just because of the anxiety that causes. Okay, so you have all these obstacles that are in your way, and if you don't pull your head out of your ass and stop being attached to things and just look at it and go, okay, I'm a human, I need to survive, I need food, I need water, and I need, for me, I smoke cigarettes, so I need my cigarettes. I can go without my smokables, I can go without a lot of stuff, but I can't go without my cigarettes, and I can't go without food and water. And I can always find places to get the other things in which I need. And rebuild my life from the ground up. I did it before. I had a business for many years until a black swan event put me out. All right. Now I'm going to do the same thing all over again. I've been just waiting to find the right place, and I think I found the right place. I've had these ideas in my mind since I left, and this was kind of my goal and my plan. I just didn't know how it was going to turn out. And everything is turning out the way I was wanting it to turn out, because I started out with that goal in mind, and consciously I went along that path, even though over time I kind of forgot about it, because I was dealing in the moment instead of dealing in the future. But I have reached the goals that I was intending to reach, which is to find a place to settle down, to be able to start a business, and to be able to get the channel going as good as it is. Okay, so I have a plan. Now, will I get off the streets? That's something that remains to be seen, because I may just decide to stay out here for the next 3 to 5 years and just say screw it, because I want to let the dust settle and be mobile if I need to be mobile. I'm already here. It takes a minute to acclimate to it after you've already gotten out and gotten back in. Okay, so this is just my thoughts on the topic. And thanks for watching. You know how to help the channel: like, subscribe, share. If you want to help out monetarily, you can go down in the description. Everything else is in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the live stream. Was it Saturday at 10:30? See you then.